Hey everyone, welcome to another stream with Mandy and Michael. I'm Mandy, also known as the Board Gaming Pinup Girl.
I'm Michael, known as Pilgrim.
And special treat tonight, we're actually streaming on Twitch and YouTube, so people on YouTube...
That's what we're trying.
We're trying it, so if there's a delay or anything, let us know it's new, so we'll see if we can figure those things out, but there will be a slight delay, I believe, on YouTube with the chat. So, but please ask questions, we've got a way to answer all of them.
And before you carry on, just
Yes.
to that, we also have the chat, hopefully, hooked up so that they are talking to each other. So if somebody does say something in the Twitch chat, it should go to the YouTube chat and vice versa as well, hopefully.
So, welcome, Needs of the One. You're on the money. I
Hello,
love
Needs of
that.
the
You're
One.
right in there, so hello. So today, as you know, or tonight, we are taking a look at the game Scott Pilgrim's Precious Little Card Game. It was designed by Keith Baker, and the art is by Brian Lee O'Malley, so people would know this from a while ago when this art happened. And it was published by Renegade Games and Oni Press.
Okay.
So, before we jump in, it says you're not online on Twitch.
Well, let me double check.
Which is weird because
I did get notification.
we got
for it.
well, I see, and Needs of the One is answering us through Twitch.
Yep, so it is up
So it
on
is online.
Twitch.
So it's weird that's doing that for you, but we'll take a look. So
Yeah.
if anybody else on Twitch notices that, let us know.
Yep.
So for people who are new and joining us, or if not, you guys will know all this stuff already. You can find me on Instagram, Board Gaming Pinup Girl, Twitter, the Board Gamer Pinup Girl. I'm also here on Twitch on Monday nights at 8 o'clock. I'm also a Dice Tower member doing the podcast every 2 weeks. We have one coming up on tomorrow.
Cool.
And we're on Facebook and YouTube as To Die For Games.
I'm on Instagram as Pawlom, P-A-W-L-O-M. Twitter is Pawlom21, and here every Monday night, 8 o'clock.
Yes. Ooh. Hi, James. Seeing all
Hello,
kinds of fun
James.
people. YouTube's going to bring up people we didn't normally see, so this is awesome. Because we
Yes.
have our regulars, Nerfenstein, Needs of the One, and James. Actually, James joins us in the chats, so.
Yep.
Okay.
And hopefully we'll see from McDrizzle13 as well.
Yes,
So this
because-
game is being brought to us by a request from McDrizzle13. So hopefully he gets to join us in the chat as well.
Okay, so someone, Dalton, thank you for that. It's just a refresh.
Okay.
Okay, on Twitch. So
Good.
keep us posted. Thank you so much. So I'm going to defer to Michael to let us know a little bit about the Scott Pilgrim game.
Okay, so yes, Scott Pilgrim, we are going to be trying to better our life, advance our life, getting jobs, getting friends, getting places to live, basically trying to become an adult is what it comes down to, and ultimately battle our exes, because that's what life is all about, right? Battle our exes?
Yeah, maybe slack off a little.
So that's sort of the theme to the game. We're trying to grow up, is what it comes down to. So the first thing I'm going to do is show you the goal. The whole point is the X.
The X.
So here's an example of an X card. And there are different things on this card. Now this one I'm just going to show you as the recommended starting X. This is not the one that we're going to be going up against, but this is the one that they do recommend if it's your first time playing. So I thought I'd show you that. But the one we're going up against is Roxanne Richter. And the X cards have some information in terms of, at the top, how much to defeat this X, how many points you get when you defeat the X, and then this star is how many points you need total to win the game. So in this case, we're going to need 12 points to win the game. And then each X will have a different setup for the game or different requirements throughout the game and how they affect it.
Before you jump in,
Sure.
so the chat, everyone knows I sometimes get on untype. We're trying this new app, so unfortunately with the iPad I can't type, but I am seeing all your comments. Who is sponsoring tonight? The drink of the drink.
I
of
haven't
the
even told
evening.
you what I'm drinking
No,
this
it's a
evening.
surprise to me actually. So
Yes, the drink for this evening. For anybody that is new, I do try to theme my drink to the game. In this case, it was a little difficult with Scott Pilgrim. However, people may not know, this is a Canadian... The lead actor in Scott Pilgrim is from Toronto. So that's... it's a Canadian game. It's a Canadian character.
okay.
So I am going with a Canadian Scotch whiskey maple syrup liqueur. Mwah. Absolutely delicious, yes.
So I'm just
So
some
cheers.
Canadian sparkling water. We're just gonna go with that tonight because Name's got to drive home later.
It doesn't get any more Canadian than maple syrup and whiskey. That's... Yeah.
You beat me there.
Okay, so I will continue on. So we've got our X card. There are 4 other types of cards in the game. We've got our character cards. So I will be playing as Scott Pilgrim. It tells you what they're strong with at the bottom. I'll get into the meaning later on. And on the back of the card, it shows their various combos, because this replicates button mashing fighting games, fighting video games. So I'll show that again, give you a little bit closer view. You can see you've got left arrow, right arrow kind of thing, A and B, and you're trying to get the different fighting button mashing combinations in to defeat the X or the various challenges that come out.
Gameritis guy? Yes. Canadian. Clearly Canadian.
Absolutely. Okay, next we have plot cards. The plot card... Now, before I show any more cards, one thing I will say is this is rather unique in the sense that all cards are double-sided, and they're going to have various uses depending on which sides are showing either out in the plot line or in your hand as well. So looking at a plot card, one side is going to be a power-up, and the power-ups give you unique abilities once you obtain them. So for example, this one, cost to acquire, is reduced by 1 for each friend power-up you control. To purchase it, here is 5 guitar picks or 5 music. If you get it, it's worth 2 points towards the total. And then in the bottom corner, they will more often than not always, but more often than not, give you a hint on what's the other side. Because if this is out on the table, you're not allowed to just flip the card to see what's on the other side. But this will give you a hint. So in this case, it's showing you that it will be a challenge that requires 6 hits to be able to defeat. So looking on the other side of a plot card is the challenge. So in this case, it's stage fright, and it's of type musical. Sometimes that is relevant. How much to defeat the challenge, and it's saying that it is a challenge. And then at the bottom, it will show you what happens when you go to fight it. So there'll be different conditions that'll happen. You might draw cards, your opponent might draw cards. We'll explain that after. The reward if you defeat it, or the punishment if you fail. So all plot cards have challenge and power-ups. Next we've got action cards, again double-sided. On one side you've got the story, which basically is value, because this is a deck building game. So on one side you've got how much it costs to purchase the card, and then how much it is worth when you're purchasing other cards and it's in your hand. Backside of that would then be the combat side, and this is how you defeat the challenges and your X's. So again, it's going to be how much it costs to purchase, what button it represents when you're playing it, and then any special abilities that trigger with different combinations that you play. And again, here it shows you 2 hearts, because that's how much that is worth when you actually have the card played. But that's showing you that little hint on the bottom. Yeah, there we go. That's showing you how much that's worth on the backside, because you're not allowed to just flip it over if it's out on the table.
And the cards actually relate to each other. So when you're looking at the story, and those of you who know Scott Pilgrim will actually be able to pick on some of those nuances, but yes, they actually have some relation.
The last card that's available.
Ah, the big one.
Yep. Drama! Which is, for the most part, not a good card. Drama is something that fills up your deck. Now, I'm playing as Scott Pilgrim, who has some ways to make use of drama, but they're not that common, and if I get too much drama, it just becomes too much to handle. I can't take it anymore. Whereas you don't want any drama. Ideally, your deck is more efficient if you can get rid of it.
It actually says, Ramona hates drama and should eliminate it from her deck.
So, like I said, this is a deck-building game.
Drizzle!
There he is. Glad you could make it. So yes, this is a deck-building game. There are 3 types of currency in the game. You've got romance, music, and work. So I'll show you my card again. So my card says that Scott uses romance and music, which means I won't have any work cards in my basic deck, and ideally I don't want to be obtaining any because I can't make the best use of it. And then it does kind of hint at that I can utilize some drama in my deck, but I don't want to get too much because I'll start to get bogged down with it. And then, as Mandi was saying, her card says that she wants to get rid of all the drama to make her deck more efficient.
Work and romance.
So those are the three types of currency in the game: work, romance, and music. Before we carry on with our setup, I showed you what the recommended first X is. Also, when you're playing your first game, we're going to play just a regular game, but I will show you when you're playing your first game, they actually have a set of cards that has first in the bottom right corner. You would only be playing with those cards for your first game. After that, then you just shuffle all the cards together. So we're going with all the cards. We're playing the mega game. We're playing the big game, the full game. So when you're setting up, first thing you do is you assign characters. So we've already got our characters. I haven't shown yours yet, so I'll show yours.
I'm Ramona.
Ramona Flowers. So there's Ramona, and uses work and romance. So the two of us will be using romance, but I use music, whereas Mandi will be using work.
Right.
And then there's the combinations that she can use. I'll describe combat in greater detail once we get to that point. Once we start fighting stuff.
Yep.
So I've shown the cards. We've got our characters. We also have a 10-card character-specific deck. I'll give this another shuffle when I'm done showing. Your 10 cards will have your character shown in the corner. So you should have 3 drama plus 7 other cards to total the 10. That's what you're looking for when you first grab your character. So you've got your character, you've got your deck. Then we shuffle. So I'll give this a quick shuffle.
While you're shuffling,
Yep.
McDrizzle says, I'm separating Twilight of the Gods from my demos into smaller 30-card decks. I'm not familiar with this game.
Twilight of the Gods.
Yeah, I feel like you might know this game, but he's saying something that we may want to
That sounds familiar.
look at. I don't have a copy of it.
I
don't know
could
if
be
you do.
thinking of Fate of the Elder Gods.
Yeah, I think
probably
that's what I
I'm
was thinking too.
Because that is something that I will be doing in a month or so.
Yeah.
Spoilers.
I know, right? Well,
that's further down the line. So.
We'll take a look. We've got a kind of a schedule right now, but it's something we'll definitely take a look into. Oh, hey, Rapunzel. How are you?
Okay. So when you set up the deck, there's actually going to be 2 decks in play, and we will be using these cards as we wish when they're coming into play. So you create the 2 piles, then we create what's called the plot line, and they'll be the face-up cards. Like any other deck builder, there'll be a face-up row of cards that you can purchase from. Normally what you do is 2 cards, 1 from each pile, and then 2 cards per player, taking alternate turns to place them out. So we're kind of choosing, because the cards are double-sided, there is no hiding what is coming up. We'll be choosing what to lay out. Now, that is normally what would happen, and you'd have 6 cards. However, with the character or the X that we're playing against, the different aspect to having her in play is that we're going to have 2 additional cards in the plot line. So that means that 2 cards from each deck will come into play to start.
Mm-hmm. And you're very welcome, McDrizzle. It is our pleasure to, and glad we take requests. So if there's a game you want to see, if we can get our hands on it, we'll take a look at it.
Absolutely. Happy to do it.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've got that. We have not determined who is going to be going first.
Yay.
I'll go first.
I already shuffled my deck.
Okay.
And there's a big fat drama card on the top.
Now, shuffling. When you're shuffling your deck, because, again, these are double-sided cards, what they say you do is when you're shuffling, once you're done shuffling, you actually flip the deck over. Because otherwise, you'd kind of get to see a peek of where you stop shuffling. So when you shuffle, and then flip it over, and then you'd be starting from the bottom of the deck, basically. Okay, so if I'm going first, I get to choose. Now, when we're setting up the plot line, we can choose to discard one of the top cards first, and they're out of the game completely, and then we have to take a card to put it into the plot line. So...
a lot of challenges making its way. Oh, no.
And when you place a card, you get to decide which side you put it face up. So I'm going to grab this one. So it is a challenge card. Parental embarrassment. So it would take 3 to beat it. Oops, 3 to beat it. And I'll explain these when we get to the challenges. The other side is Vagabond, and it can be purchased for 2. So what I have to decide here is, do I want to put this side face up and maybe hope to get it first because it only costs 2. And that symbol, I haven't mentioned that yet, is 2 of any one type. So it could be 2 music or 2 romance, but they do have to be the same. There are some that cost 8, 10, 12 of the same type, but it gives you some flexibility. So I could put that up. As a matter of fact, that's what I'm going to do. I'll put that side face up because I know I'm playing first, so I'm hoping I can purchase that, and that's a power-up that would stay in play, and I would get the corresponding ability. So then it's over to Mandy's turn to optionally discard one of the 2 top cards, and then put one of them in play.
So I think we're going to eliminate secret moves. So
Okay,
I'll throw that on
here.
that side. Thank you. Ooh, I like this because it's actually something that could potentially work with my deck because
Absolutely.
it has work on it. And I will decide to turn it this way.
Okay. So it's back to me. So I'll show you, getting into a bit more of the strategy behind this. So I'm going to discard this top card because that requires work. And it doesn't matter which side, it actually requires work. I don't use work. I have no work cards in my base deck. Only Mandy would be able to buy this, so I'd prefer to have that out of the game. So I'll discard that, and then let's get a high-level challenge into play.
Oh, interesting. Oh, well, I don't like the way that's looking. I actually think we'll leave that, and I'm going to take this one because it has some wild happening there, and put that into play on the combat side.
Okay. So now that we've got all that, then we draw our cards. The first player only gets 4 cards to start. Then second player will get 5, and it's 5 cards from then on, depending on how you play your turn. And I'll describe that as we're doing it.
Darn right he does. Your character fears work. Slacker. Wow, that's a lot of drama.
That's true. Okay, so I only get 4 cards.
So you have to.
I've got 2 of my drama right away. Not good. That's going to make it weak. The first part is, before I even play any cards, the first part is the main deck elimination, where, before you actually, yes?
So before I even get to that,
Yep.
I was going to talk about your cards. Sometimes you see them and they're red.
Yep.
You can flip them to the side that you're using.
Yep.
So
I was going to get to that after the...
I apologize.
No,
I
it's
jumped the
okay.
gun.
Once I get to the acquisition phase where you're able to get your
Rewind.
cards. Yeah. So the deck elimination happens first, where you can remove one or both of the top cards from the 2 decks.
Yes, this phase is
I'm
optional
going
but
to
important.
remove this one. Now, the reason I'm doing it is we both use romance. And this is a relatively cheap card, but I know I'm not going to be able to buy it anytime soon. So I'm going to get rid of it, hoping that Mandy won't be able... Well, I know she won't be able to get it. What I'm looking to get into play, ideally, is music, because I know that Mandy doesn't have any music in her deck to be able to purchase those. So I'm hoping that if those come out, they limit the options that she'll have. So that's the first step on your turn, and again, optional. After that is the acquisition phase, where you now do any purchasing you wish to do. So when you're purchasing, you're only going to be looking at the green sides of the cards where it says story. So again, I'll show this one. This is a card that's in Scott Pilgrim's deck.
Hey, Alan.
So we've got Hot Mess, and these are the action cards. So when you're purchasing, you're looking at the green side, and when you're in combat, you would then use the red side. So you can flip them freely in your hand. That's okay. You just cannot flip cards that are out on the table freely. You need to use an action that would be stated on a card to be able to flip those.
Right.
So looking at these, I can use this as either 3 romance or 3 music. One or the other. You can't use both. The downside to this card, it's a very strong starting card. The downside is I have to add drama, a drama card to my discard pile when I use it. I can choose not to use it. But right now, looking at my hand, I've got 2 drama, that card that gets me more drama, or something that only gets me 1 romance or 1 music. So the order that you play the cards in can be very relevant at times. In this case, with my combination, it won't be, but I will just play them out. You play them out one at a time, and you check any conditions at the time that you play the card. That will become more important later on with some of the combinations that Mandy can pull off, and I'll show those when they happen. So I'm playing this. I have to add a drama card to my discard pile. And I'll show you the player card once more, because at the bottom it does indicate you've got your draw pile here, your discard pile on the bottom, and then your power-ups go on the other side. So that's why we'll be laying our cards out like that. So my draw pile is here, and the reason you do have to have them indicated that way, again, they're double-sided cards, so it can be easy to lose track if they're all facing the same way, which is a draw pile, which is a discard pile. So discard pile on the bottom. And then I will play Charm. So now I have a total of 4 romance or 4 music.
Looking pretty rough.
I could get Donkey Klong. Reduce the cost of acquiring a housing. Oh, so that's housing.
Oh, there you go. I got some power-ups.
For 2, that would leave me 2. If I'm going to be playing this card, that gives me... but I get that. Okay. So, here's what I'm going to do. I have 4 music. I'll use 2 of it to get that Vagabond card that I put out, because I knew I was going first and have a good chance of getting that. It's a power-up card. So it's going to go face up and will be in play. I'll show that once more because it also has 1 point. So I've got 1 point right off the bat.
Oh, only 11 more to go.
And the ability on that power-up is reduce the cost of acquiring a housing power-up by one wild, and eliminate this card when you have a housing power-up in play. Because you can only have 1 housing in play. This is basically saying your first housing will be 1 cheaper to get it into play. So that cost me 2. As soon as you remove a card from the plot line, it must immediately be refilled from one of those 2 decks. So I will grab... Bless you.
Excuse me.
I'll grab this one. I'll get that into play, and I do still have 2 music left over, where I will then purchase that card. I won't show all cards, but just because we're starting out right now, I'll show you different options. So this is another action card. So again, it only cost me 2 to purchase. When it comes up in play, it'll be worth 1 for further purchasing, and has an ability on it that lets you match drama for additional music. And you'll see that in action eventually. And then on the back side, that's the button press for combat. So those go into my discard. That goes into my discard. And now, I have to refill first.
Yes.
I'll bring that into play.
Interesting.
I do get to look at both sides, but I already know that's the side I want.
Of course it is.
Now, that's the first part. First part is acquisition, where you get to purchase. Second part is the battle phase, or the combat phase, where I can choose to go up against one of the challenges, or if I want to, go up against the X. But you have to decide that before you draw your hand, because what's going to happen is, if I do decide to go into combat, I would declare my target first, then I would draw my 5 cards for the combat, and then we would resolve anything that's on the card. An exception to that is, during the acquisition phase, if I decided not to purchase anything, if I didn't actually acquire anything, I would get to take 6 cards into combat. But again, you're doing this blind. You get to see your top card because they're all double-sided. That's not a great top card, because my first card is drama. So the easiest combat out there right now is 6, 6, 8. I'm not liking the look of any of those right now. I think I want to get my deck stronger before I start going into any combat challenges. So I'm going to opt to not take the combat phase, which means I will get 1 additional card for my next turn's acquisition phase. So you've got 2 main phases, acquisition and combat. If you ever opt to not do one of those, you get to draw an extra card for the next one, even if it's on your next turn. So no challenge for me. I take 6 cards for my next turn, which is everything there.
Perfect.
That's me.
All right. So
there's a lot of talk in there. It'll start going quicker once we've explained all the basics to it.
So yes, way too soon to face the X, because the X is oh my gosh, you need 12 hits to defeat. So
I'll briefly show you, or tell you what the combat would look like. Every card, let's say this was my combat hand. Let's say I did go into combat and I drew 5 cards. Each combat card you play in and of itself is worth 1 damage, because that's considered button mashing. You're just hitting the button hoping to do something. But if you can pull off any combos, so...
I'm going to show this very shortly, so...
Right. I do have 2 rights. Oh boy. I have 2 rights, I have 2 lefts. Oh no. So I actually could have pulled off a nice combo.
I'm going to do combat next.
Pulled off the Knuckle Duster. So looking at my my card again. So the Knuckle Duster down here is, looking at it backwards there, right, left is 7 damage. And that's what I've got here with these 4 cards. I could have actually pulled off that combo and done 7 damage plus whatever other triggers are on those cards. But again, you're going into that blind. And that's how you do the combat, is you're trying to get combos, or each card is worth 1 point as well, with the potential of more with adding drama cards and stuff. But we're going to get to see that on Mandy's turn.
Well, I say that now. I may change my mind.
Okay,
so...
So first thing is, would you like to eliminate anything from the decks?
No, siree. We're going to leave that right where it is.
Okay. And
I'm going to now move into the acquisition phase. So, main deck elimination, bypassing. Now I'm going to acquisition, so I am going to play Haunting Shoes, which is worth 1 romance, and it allows me to flip a card in the plot line. Okay.
So this is what I was saying before. You're not allowed to look at the back of these unless you have something that triggers that. So Mandy can flip one of these. She can't look at it first to see what it is, it's just flip it over. And that's where you would be looking at those bottom left corners to see a hint of what could be on the other side.
So I flipped, it was a power-up, I've now flipped it and turned it into a challenge.
Okay.
For 4, so this is actually potentially somewhere I can go later.
Okay.
Next, I will play Early Riser, which is worth an additional 1 work. So it's 1 work, an additional 1 work. If I have no unmatched drama in my hand, well, Mandy's got drama. So...
So there's a mechanic in this game where you can match drama cards with your story cards, your action cards, to get additional value out of it. If Mandy was able to match those cards before playing that one, then it would be worth extra. And that's where I was saying that the order you play these in is very important.
So as of right now, and then this action here, it's once during the turn you may spend 3 wild to eliminate a card. It's optional. I'm not going to do it. So right now I have 1 romance and I have 2 work, which...
Or vice versa, because that could also be worth romance.
But I'm definitely going to be using... So the romance is non-existent.
Okay.
There's nothing here I can buy for that, so I'll be using the 2 work to purchase diligence.
It costs 3.
Sorry, 3. Oh my goodness, I was looking at the wrong thing. So, never mind. Mandy's not buying anything.
But because Mandy's not buying anything, she doesn't acquire any cards. She gets to take 6 cards for combat if she chooses to do so. But again, she needs to make that decision before drawing any cards.
So, sure. Why not?
Okay.
I didn't really get too much, but I get to draw 6 cards. So I can't complain.
Okay, so you're going up against...
Sorry, I'm going to go against here. Hecklers.
Okay. So, going up against this. So, looking at this challenge card. Hecklers here, it shows you need to do 4 damage to defeat it. And then the first part is, during a fight, it says versus, draw 3, drama +1. And what that means is, when it says draw 3, it's your opponent to your left. Now, in a 2-player game, I'm obviously to her left. But it'll be opponent to your left draws that number of cards, and in this case, each drama I pull is going to be adding 1 to that value to defeat of 4. So, I'm going to have to shuffle my deck. And I'm drawing 3. Oh boy, good luck.
Unfortunate.
So I'm not going to look at my shuffling, and then I'll flip them over.
The combo idea needs to be used in a Street Fighter game. Yeah, it's definitely something that would work really well with that theme.
So, the first one is drama.
Lovely.
Second one is not. Third one is not. So there's only +1, so we're only looking at 5 to defeat.
Only.
Now, before you do anything else,
yes,
whoever draws the cards then has the option of trading one of those cards that were drawn with another card that's in their hands. So, for example, I've got drama in my hand right now. And I could match it. Let's see here. That's worth 1. That's worth 1. That's worth 1. What do I have here?
The big decisions when we're trading.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's worth it, sometimes it's not, but at least you have the option, which is nice.
I think what I'll do is I will discard that card to bring this card in. So the cards that get drawn, you can swap out 1 card with a card in your hand. And then the rest, including the one you discarded, goes in the discard pile. Okay, so now we're looking to try and get 5 damage.
So that's going to be really easy because I'm going to do a combo that gives me the 5 damage.
Nice.
So we're going to be doing Sleepy Time.
Oh, sleepy time.
So it requires a left arrow, and this has no effect.
Okay.
Another arrow to the left.
Yep.
And an arrow up.
Very good.
Which is for a total of 5. There is an action to draw 1 card, then discard 1 card.
Okay.
Which I can do. So draw a card.
So as you're triggering, as you're playing
Discard.
these cards, you do need to trigger whatever is on there, unless it says may.
Right.
But in this case, it's draw a card, discard a card. Now at that point, that was 5 damage.
That's 5.
Challenge is defeated. You don't play any more cards.
Correct.
That's done. So that's done. Now the win condition on that is
Reward, Flip and Keep, which usually means it's a power-up.
Yep.
1 point. Let's see. The cost to acquire this power-up is reduced by 1 music for each friend power-up you control.
So in this case, it's irrelevant because
Right.
you got it by defeating the challenge
Correct.
instead of purchasing. And then you need to replace from
I
one of the
sure
piles.
do. So let's just flip you like that.
All right.
All right.
So hopefully that's making sense.
I'm going to draw back up to 5 now.
Mhm.
2,
So Mandy
3.
is getting 5 cards because she did do the challenge. I got 6 cards because I opted not to take the challenge on my last turn. So I have 6 to go with. So we're back to deck elimination. I'm going to eliminate the understanding card because I'm just not understanding that.
I have a feeling that had work on it to
Actually,
be
it
purchased.
didn't.
I didn't see it,
It
so I
didn't,
didn't know.
no.
Oh, that's good.
It is a safe bet, but no, it did not. Okay, let's see here. Oh. I'm going to show the natural talent card because I need to fly the flag. There's the Canadian flag right there. Okay. But I digress. That's worth an extra 1. That's worth an extra 1. Okay.
Oh, my cards are bad. Oh!
So if I went 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, yes, that's what I'm doing. I'm going to get the on the radio power-up card that costs 7 music to pull it off.
7.
And I can do that. So
That's unfortunate.
I'm going to play Mooch with a drama matched. So I'll show you a card that does this. So the Mooch card is worth a wild, but you indicate what it's being used for when you play it. And at the bottom it says you match drama, it's worth an additional wild. So I get to use drama to get something out of it. And that's where I was saying that Scott Pilgrim can actually make use of some drama. But if I take too much, then it just starts getting cumbersome.
Yes.
So that's worth 2.
Everyone needs a little dose of drama in their lives.
3. 4. The base solo also has that ability to match drama. I don't have any left in my hand, so I cannot. 4. That's a wild. That's 5. And I can flip a card in the plot line. I can flip a card in the plot line, can I?
Lots of challenges in there, if you do.
I'm going to flip this one.
Oh, wow. Well,
So now, I'll pick back up where I was there. I'll show you this card. So this was a face-up challenge that needed 8 to defeat. It's not that easy this early in the game. I flipped it over, and now it can just be purchased, but it needs 10 of the same resource to be able to get it. But it's obviously going to be a strong card. It's worth 4 points plus its ability.
yeah, it's pretty good.
So 2, 3, 4, 5, 7 music would get me on the radio. It's a power-up card. It's worth 3 points. And on acquisition, I can draw an additional card on my next combat or resolution phase
Nice.
this turn.
Pretty slick.
So even though I did take advantage of the acquisition phase and acquired a card, that one's going to let me draw 6 if I choose to take combat. So these will go to my discard pile. I do need to refresh. Let's see what we've got here. Alright, I'll put that one that way.
Mm-hmm.
And now I need to decide if I'm going to combat.
Why not? You got a 4 in there.
Yeah.
Gives you, it'll probably give you a point.
So the one I just put into play only requires 4 to defeat it. However, on the versus draw 2, meaning Mandy will draw 2 cards, each drama is worth 2 instead of 1.
Right.
Now, I can see her top card. I know that's not a drama. So worst case scenario is an additional 2. I'll go for it. I'm going to go up against the Living with Parents.
All right.
So I get to draw 6 cards.
Yep.
That's not a good start.
And I get to draw 2.
Yep.
Oh,
this is
bazinga.
not going to end well.
So now I get to do some exchanging of the cards.
All right.
So I definitely want to get rid of a drama, so we're going to do that. I'm going to take that. So basically exchanging, and that goes away.
All right, so there was 1 drama in there, which means +2. I now need 6 to defeat that. Let's see if I can pull off any of my combos.
So just so you know what I just did there, because Michael is deciding to defeat the challenge, I had to draw 2 cards, and I get to exchange one of those cards, and then the rest go into discard.
And I have no combos to pull off.
I just got lucky.
So let's see what I have on the cards. That lets me... Ooh.
Oh, wait for it. It's only...
No.
Oh, it's 6.
Yeah. The 4 I could do. So, again, these cards, the combat cards, by themselves, when you just do button mashing, they're worth 1 point each. At its base of 4, that would have done it right there. But because there was a card that Mandi had pulled, +2 drama, now I need 6.
Yeah, Scott legit pulled on his face.
If target for combat has social or romance. Ooh, it does. Okay, we have some possibilities here. I'm not out yet.
Oh, the characteristics.
So I'll show you what I'm looking at, and this is where the order definitely comes into play, because the order of your power moves here, you need to play those in that order. It's not just play those buttons, it's play them in that specific order for anybody that has played button mashing fighters before. So I have options here.
Falls in his face while playing his guitar, slacking off. Yeah, that's accurate.
So I've got 1 card here, a combat card called Friendly Advice. And it says, if target for combat has social or romance trait, draw a card. And Living with Parents has social. So looking at the top here, that's one of the traits. So it does match the trait, which means I could play this to draw a card. So now the question that I need to consider is this card important for any combinations I wish to pull off?
That is the question.
It does go in with the A to get the Electric Thunder. I'd love to do that, but I need an up arrow, and the next card is not an up arrow, so that does not help me yet. I don't have any Bs in my deck, I don't think. No, I don't think I'll... Yeah. Okay, so I will just play that to start. Target does have social, so I get to draw a card. Okay. I think I can do this. I think I can do this. So that's going to be worth 1. Just by itself, it's worth 1. Do I have another right? I do not. That's another right, though. Okay, here we go. I can do this. I need to get that draw card in. I wish I played that one first, now that I see what's underneath. Oh, well. Okay, let's get to it. So I'll play this one, which lets me match drama for an additional damage. So same as the purchasing power, where I could match drama for additional purchasing power, this lets me match it for additional damage. So I'm up to 3.
All right.
And then I'm just going to keep button mashing, because that'll actually give me enough. Match drama for an additional 1. That puts me up to 5. And then I'll play that one. Just a button mash makes it 6. Now, the reason I had to think there was because that card has no special ability on the bottom. This card does, but its ability is draw a card, and in this case I don't wish to draw it. I'd rather save that for my next hand. And on victory, add 1 drama to your discard pile. I don't want that to trigger, because I know I'm winning this. I don't want the drama, so I'd rather just leave this in my hand. That's enough to defeat it at 6, so I will be getting that. This will then be discarded. I don't have to worry about that. These all go back into my discard pile. And what are we looking at? I'm living with my parents. Look at her. Ask her what she's doing here, Scott. Okay. Fight, reward. Flip and keep, and then eliminate 1 drama. Sweet. Now, when you eliminate drama, it can be from your hand or your discard pile. And I I know I've got drama in my discard pile. I'll put that there because it's my unique one.
Do you not also eliminate from plotline?
This is eliminate one drama.
Oh, one drama.
Yeah, there won't be any.
Sorry. No, I thought...
But yes, if there's a card that just says eliminate one card, it could be hand, discard pile, or plotline. But in this case, it is specific to one drama, and there wouldn't be any drama in there.
Perfect.
So flip and keep, eliminate one drama, and the backside is crappy apartment. So it's a housing worth 3 points. And the power-up is reduce the cost of acquiring new housing by 3. You may only have one housing power-up in play at a time. So basically, if I look to upgrade my housing, I'm not going to be living in 2 different places. I would have to get rid of this, but I could discard this to make the next better housing cheaper. Mm-hmm. Now, this would still stay in play because it's not listed as housing. Okay. So I now have 7 points. I need to put another card in play. I don't like the look of that one, so it will be this one. Because that one's got the work symbol on it. Alright.
9.
There you go. A mysterious job.
Well, that'll be staying right there. So
that's me. So then I draw my next hand.
Yep.
Of 5 cards.
So for the main deck elimination, for my turn, I will be eliminating the top card. Bye. It's gone. See you later. Mm-hmm. And that's the only one I will eliminate. Now moving on to my acquisition phase. I shall... Let's see here. Alright, so my cards, the abilities are not helping me out in any way. So if I have any additional... I get an additional work if I have no unmatched drama. That is not the case, and it's the same for this.
Okay.
So we've got 2 work.
And that's where you can see that Mandi's deck is a lot stronger once she can start getting rid of that drama.
Right.
Get it out of the deck, and those cards start being worth 2 instead of just 1.
And then I'll play another work for a total of 3. So I'm choosing work over romance on that card, and I'm not choosing to use the ability. Mm-hmm. So therefore I will buy diligence for 3 work. Those are going to be discarded. And then we will pull this beautiful card out.
The California roll.
California roll. Which doesn't matter because I can't afford it anyways. Actually, I don't think I can afford anything else in that line. No. So these are useless. This is worth 2. None of those are 2. And drama I cannot purchase. Okay. So now, do I want to fight anything? It's a little rich for me right now, so I'm going to pass on the combat and just draw up to 6.
All right. So back to me. Elimination. I think I'm okay with what's out there. So then I go into acquisition phase with the 2 drama that's in my hand.
Oh, I totally should have did combat.
I can have 3. Let me see here.
All the options, eh?
No. No, not at all. I could get a Donkey Klong. Okay, here's what I'll do. Charm for 1 music. Determination for 1 music. And I can flip a card in the plot line. I'm going to flip that one. And then bass solo for 1 music that I can match drama to get 1 more. So I've got a total of 4 music. I will purchase the Donkey Klong because it can be 4 of 1 type. I'll take that. That leaves me with drama that will go away. I will then bring in...
Yeah. What are you going to bring in?
I'll bring in the Making Out card.
Ooh.
What do we got on the back? I wonder if I could pull that. Okay, I'll put it combat side up. Or challenge side up, I should say. So now I need to decide if I'm going to go into combat.
Yeah, why not?
And I will.
Okay.
The question is, what's my target? This is where I'd love to see what my cards are, but that's obviously the point. You're going in without knowing what the cards are that you're going to get. Draw 2, drama +2. I don't like that drama +2.
Yeah, I'd like to know. Needs of the one. Thanks for monitoring that. There's audio glitches potentially on Twitch. Every 4 seconds it goes mute for like half a second.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. So we're hard connected with internet, so we're trying to make sure that doesn't happen.
Might be an issue because we are dual streaming this evening. Maybe. We'll take a look. I know we did a test and that didn't seem to be an issue, but please keep us posted. Yeah, thank you for letting us know. I'll see. I am recording it as well, so I have a backup. I'll see if it shows up in the backup as well. Thank you. Okay, let's see here. This is doable, potentially. You know what? I'm going to try going after the evil mastermind. Drama is going to be +2. However, it's only draw 1 card. And I see your top card. I know that won't affect me. So I'm going to go up against the evil mastermind. So I did purchase. Yep, you draw 1. I did purchase, so that does mean I only get 5 cards going into this, and I'm going to need 6 to defeat it.
I won't take it. I will not be taking it.
1 drama card. That's not too bad. Let's see if I can get to 6. I have the potential for combinations here.
How do you now?
Can I do the electric thunder? No, I need an up button. Up, down, I have no up buttons. Alright, let's see here. I do have the ability to draw a card. Oh, get an extra. There we go.
So not happening on YouTube. Always fine on YouTube. So potentially could be this, but we'll take a look. So thank you guys, or
thank you.
Everyone, I should say, for checking that.
Let's see here. So that would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Not in a pleasant way, but it would be 6.
Hey, if it works.
Yeah. Well, it's better than not doing it. I don't want to fail. So, what can I do? There's got to be a combo.
You're gonna make it.
I'd rather not take drama. That's what I'm trying to avoid is taking the drama.
Got it. It's that special little card.
I either need 1 more right or 1 up, and there's 2 different combos I could pull off. But with what I have, I'm so close, but so far. All right, so I'm gonna have to end up drawing a card, so I will shuffle.
That's a bit rough. Yikes! So many things I want to do and I can't.
All right. Okay. I don't mind getting that into play because okay. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to play awkward first. So it looks like an awkward upper punch is what I'm pulling off here. It's draw a card. So I will draw the boot. Pulling off my Canadian accent there for those that are not Canadian out there. You're welcome. On victory, add 1 drama to your discard pile. So if I do win this, I have to add drama to my discard pile. That's what I was trying to avoid. However, the card I just pulled, on victory, I can eliminate 1 drama card from my hand or discard pile. So I will use this to pull off a combination. A little right button pressing with that. So the right is the base shredder, getting me 3, 4, 5, just 1 more. 6. And we're done.
Nice.
That gets that. So, there are cards. So I'll show this one. The boot. That say on victory. So in this case, on victory, I can eliminate 1 drama card from my hand or discard pile. That is obviously a benefit. This one, the on victory, is adding drama to my discard pile, which is not a benefit, but the letter cards can sometimes be a little more difficult to get or are worth more in combinations, so that's the detriment. It's a powerful card, but you're going to have to take something for it. So in this case, I draw drama, and then I will then discard drama. So net 0, I'm okay with that.
Yep.
And I did get the win.
Well, it's probably 2 or 3 pointer.
Let's see.
2 points probably.
Reward: draw 2 cards after drawing new hand in resolution.
Oh. So yeah.
Okay. So this is not a flip and keep.
No.
It will be staying out there. But I just draw 2 cards after drawing new hand in resolution.
That's all right.
So instead of 5, I now get 7 cards.
Good for your next combat.
4, 5. There's 2 drama right away. That's not cool. 6, 7. 3 drama.
Oh, well.
I get to draw 2 extra cards, and I have 3 drama out of it. All right.
All right.
C'est la vie.
All right, it's back over to me.
Yep.
So for my main deck elimination, I'm actually going to get rid of this card here.
Yep.
Okay.
Slap.
Slap is gone. And then I will play Haunting Shoes for 1 romance. You may flip 1 card in the plot line. I'm going to flip this one. And then I have another card, Mysterious, which is for romance, and if I match a drama, it's worth an additional romance. So doing that will give me, so now that gives me 2, so I'm at 3 romance. And then I'm going to play this card, which really just gives me a choice between romance and work, so I'm going to use it for 2 romance. So that brings me to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, where I will purchase or acquire Knives Chow.
Yeah, you will.
And I will take that power up for 2 victory points, and it's a friend. Once during your turn, you may flip 1 card in the plot line. So I'm going to expend that. And let's see, now I get to replace. Oh, that's painful. But I will do... Oh, hello. I like where that's going. So we'll do that. Because it's a work.
Ooh, how did I get that? Oh, right.
No, you shush over there.
Ooh.
And unfortunately...
Seeing a card for the first time here.
Actually, unfortunately, nothing. No! I was like just barely. Oh, that's unfortunate. No. No, can't do it. So close yet so far. Okay. Unfortunately, didn't quite have enough.
Okay.
To buy.
You've only got 2 left. Yep.
I had 3. Because one of them
3?
was unmatched.
Oh, right. Yep.
Yeah. The bonus.
Yep.
Okay, so now I'm going to determine if I'm going to combat. This one here is worth 3. So
go for the X.
Easy. Yeah, no. This is a flip and keep, which I like. I don't want to go for a 6. I feel that's just going to get ugly, and that's +2. That's 8. I'm just going to go for the 3, take those sweet, like, short amount of points.
Yep.
So I'll draw up to 5.
So what do I need to do here? Draw 2.
Wow, that was a horrible draw. Wow.
Well, you don't have to worry about any additional. I didn't pull any drama.
Sorry
but again,
about my bust mashing.
whoever draws the cards then can swap 1
come
card with their
on.
hand.
Look at this. Seriously?
So because Mandi did do that,
That's so terrible.
I get to swap one of these. That's an opportunity to get rid of some of this drama that I've got here.
Oh! Okay. Very glad that card popped up in my hand. That's all I have to say. Alright, so I'm going to play...
Before you do that,
yeah.
just swapping
you're
the
still
card
swapping
first.
Yeah. The button mashing was fine. We'll make up for my lack of in a moment.
Okay, carry on.
So, yes, so we're going after Active God.
Okay.
Well, as you can see, I have a lot of drama. That is not helping me right now.
Yep.
So, I'm going to play Take It Outside. On victory, eliminate 1 drama card from your hand or your discard pile.
Okay.
And sadly, this, which allows me to end this combat phase without suffering the consequence of failure.
Oh, nice.
Because I don't have enough.
And thematically, and then Scott ran away to hide forever.
Yeah, darn right.
So with that card, with that power, she doesn't have to suffer the failure consequence on the card.
Right. So basically,
that's not so bad.
It's a wash.
Right.
Drizzle would like to know which of the X's we are looking at.
We are playing Roxanne Richter. So Roxanne Richter, to actually defeat the X itself, requires 12 to take her out. If you do, she's worth 6 points, and she's the one that indicates how many points we need to win, which in this case is 12. I did show at the start, I think it was before you came on,
yes.
When you do play the first time, they recommend you play Matthew Patel, who requires 8 to defeat, is worth 3 points when you do so, and you need 10 to win the game.
And he also has those 2 fun buddies.
Yeah, so with Roxanne, this is why we're playing with 8 cards in the plot line with only 2 players. Normally you'd only have 6, but with Roxanne, she actually does say you put an extra 2 out. Matthew's setup actually has 2 demon hipster chicks that come into play as sort of they're almost like bodyguards, because you must defeat the demon hipster chicks before you can go after the X.
Is he a pirate?
Is he?
I don't think so. No, it's the hair.
No.
It's got the kind of
Yeah.
Hairstyle is I guess emo. I don't know if that's would be accurate.
I'd go with that.
Okay. And yes, I have all the dramas, but not this hit.
Okay, so it's over to me?
Indeed.
All right. Yes, I can choose to eliminate if I wish.
Oh, it's a movie quote. See, that's why I'm like, is he a pirate? I don't think so. Yeah, honestly, I haven't seen anything Scott Pilgrim in a very long time.
Okay.
This would be more up Suzanne's alley. She knows it really well.
Eliminate that. Now, what I was excited about earlier, I had purchased Donkey Kong a couple turns ago. It's finally come back up again. I'm seeing the other side. The other side is item.
Which makes sense.
And it is draw 3 cards, then discard 2. And that's a great way to get rid of the rest of the drama I have in my hand.
It's your favorite movie. No wonder.
That makes sense.
I totally got it.
So I will start by playing item. So I get to draw 3 cards. Perfect. And discard 2. Perfect.
Yep.
Okay, now, can I get to that parental approval?
Good Lord, that's 4 points.
It is 4 points, but I need 10 to purchase. So let's see if I can get there.
Well, you might after that.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
You did it.
9.
9? Oh!
Okay, I
Ouch.
will have to see if I have any abilities here.
I've seen the movie once, but it was a long time ago.
Oh no. 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 9. I'm 1 short. Alright, I could go for the housemates, but that actually won't cost me 9. So there's a power-up card here, housemates. It costs 9 to purchase, 9 of any one suit. But I can reduce the cost of acquiring housing power-up by 3. So that would only cost me 6, but I'd have to get rid of this to do so. So it doesn't get me 5 points, it gets me a net gain of 2 points.
Okay.
Yeah. Otherwise, that is definitely go for that. But having said that, that might be the best way to go. Let's see here.
Interesting.
I'm going to have to take drama to do so. Oh, boy. What was on the back side of that? Okay, let's go like this. I do not have any draw cards here. So I'll play Hot Mess, which that's that really strong card. It's worth 3 romance or 3 music, but I have to take drama to do so, so that's into my discard pile. So my discard pile is not looking so good at the moment.
No, it's not.
Filled with drama. I will then play that for music and flip a card in the plot line. I'm curious what's on the back side of that.
I think that's the one... Oh no, you get to keep 4 of the victory points. Oh, okay, so it's a challenge that has victory points versus a power-up.
Okay, interesting, interesting. So that's 4 music. 5 music, and would be worth more if I kept some drama. 6 music. 8 music. 9 music. Wait, I don't need to go that high.
Nope. Because you
8 music. 6 music. That's all I need for that.
Right.
5 music. 6 music.
Like, music.
Yeah, that's fine. So 6 music means I will purchase this at the reduced cost, and I have to then get rid of this. I only have 1, so that is gone. This comes in, and the cost to acquire this power is reduced by 1 for each friend. I have no friends.
You have no friends.
I have no friends.
I have friends.
And you can only have 1. So I've got that. So it did give me an additional 2, the way that those traded out. I will bring in the Thunder Hammer. And that leaves me with 3 music and or 2 romance. Which I don't think is useful at all.
No.
No. So those are just going to go away. Now,
Combat.
I do need to shuffle. What do we have here? The hipsters. Draw 2, drama plus 2. So I know worst case is it'll be 5. But I have a lot of drama in here. And I'm only going to get to pull 5 cards. What else? Act of God is 3.
So I'll have to shuffle that.
Draw 2, drama plus 1. Actually, maybe that's the best way to go. Flip and keep. Have we seen the backside of that?
I don't.
Okay, what do we got?
know.
Okay, I don't have drama on top. So,
What you gonna do?
oh, let's go for the Act of God.
Alright, so how many am I drawing? 2?
Drawing 2.
So there's 1. Let's do a little under the table action. What? I
No
don't
top
even know.
decking.
Listen,
No bottom decking.
there's like so few cards in here. They're just kind of like, I don't know what's what actually. So
You're using the mechanics grip. Only poker players would get that. Sorry.
no idea. And ready? Ah!
Sweet. Okay.
So now I get to draw that.
Yep.
Ho, ho,
Ho, ho,
ho.
ho, close.
And then I get to see if I want to exchange this for anything.
I pulled 2 drama out of that.
Hmm.
Oh,
Yeah, I think I'll get rid of this and this. Let's keep this.
no. Oh, wait. It's only 3. Okay.
Yes. Did you think we added more?
I was thinking it was 4 for some reason.
Oh no.
Because all I can do is 3. I've got just button mashing. 1, 2,
Hey, that's all you
3.
need.
Now, before I carry on with this, I haven't shown a combination like this yet. Some of the combat cards will have a condition on the bottom. So this one says draw a card, but it's only if you played an A before it. So you'd have to play those in combination. A, and then this card will let you draw a card. There are some others that I don't see any at the moment, but when I see one, I'll show it to you, that can actually trigger its own combo. And it'll say right on it, with this card, you could start combo Knuckle Duster or whatever. So 3 of them, and on victory I may eliminate 1 card. Goodbye, drama. And that's it there. So that was the Act of God, which is flip and keep.
Mm-hmm.
And it is tea.
Yay.
You look like you're gonna die. Huh. Well,
Oh.
here's some tea.
Pleasant.
All right. And on acquisition, I may eliminate 1 card.
Mm-hmm.
Goodbye, drama.
I think that's a good one.
That's not bad at all. And let's bring in.
Temptation. And there's a good Canadian band if you
Yeah.
know that song. Do you know it?
I do recognize it.
Temptation.
I do.
And it actually has some relation to the last card you read.
Drawing a blank at the moment, though.
Bonus points, whoever gets that.
Okay, that was my turn. I get 5. Over to you.
Alright, so...
And I have a scary situation for Mandi right now because if she wants to go into combat, my next card is drama. So guaranteed, if I have to pull cards,
Yep,
there's at least 1.
that's a problem. It's a very big problem. So, I think what I need to do is... Oh, I didn't even see that one. That's good. You know, draw a card from your hand or your discard pile. That's pretty good, too. Well, I could actually just do that. Okay, so I'm going to... I'm curious what's on the other side of that. Alright, so I'm going to play...
So I mentioned that this could be scary for Mandi for combat. That is something that you want to pay attention to, especially if you're playing multiple, like say you're playing a 4-player game. The only person you need to really pay attention to is the person to your left, because that's the person that's going to affect any challenges you go up against, because they're the one that's going to be drawing cards. So if I see Mandi empty her deck of drama, that's perfect for me as well, in the sense that I know that when I go up against those challenges, I don't have to worry about random drama cards coming off, increasing the difficulty of the challenge. So it's something to pay attention to when you're playing.
So there's a question from James. Is there
Yes.
a limit to the power-ups, or how many you can use in a round?
No. If you can pull off multiple, that's fine, but you can only use each card once, and they have to be in that order. So pulling off multiple combos can be very difficult because the base one requires 2 cards that I think in his deck he only has 2 of, maybe 3. So to be able to get 4 of them in a 5-card hand, 6 if you didn't do acquisition, just to pull off the base one, could be tricky. To pull off the other ones, you'd have to be getting extra cards to be able to do it for sure, and not be getting any drama. So, yes, it can be done. Not easy to do, though.
As for the limit, some of the power-ups themselves will limit you to having certain ones. So, like, you can't have 2 friend power-ups or something like that.
Right, yes, the power-ups here, yes.
Yeah. So, in that sense, there's that type of limitation. Okay, so I flipped a card in the plotline because I was allowed to do that. I'm going to use this as work. So, that's 1, 2, 3, 4 work. I'm not using the ability. This is actually worth 2 because I don't have any unmatched drama in my hand.
Yep.
And this is worth another 2.
Okay.
So 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I can actually buy a couple of cards this round, which is nice.
Okay.
Although that would have been really nice that it come out.
The rocket kick.
Yeah. That's okay. We'll take what we can get. So I'm going to take this for 4.
Okay. Grow up.
Yes. Grow up.
That's what we're trying to do.
And I'm just going to put that here so I know I've purchased that. What's this? On victory, I eliminate a card. And it's going the other direction. That's the one I probably should get, but I like that idea. So we'll put this one out. Yeah. And I'm actually going to purchase this with the remaining 4 that I had.
Sounds good.
And we'll put you out. No, we'll put this one. Okay. So that's happening.
Now, do you go into combat when you know you're taking at least
I'm
one
taking
drama,
at least
and
one.
you know I've got one if I have to
I
pull
don't think
cards?
it's wise, to be honest. I think it might be a bit of a waste.
That could be a scary situation for sure.
Because if I fail at the one I'm looking at, I would have to add a drama, and I do not need any more. So I'm going to...
like in real life, drama just piles up.
Yeah. Oh, and during my turn, I actually get to flip a card in the plot line if I so choose. Yeah, so I'm going to do that. I'm going to flip this. Give us some more challenges to work with. And then I'm going to skip combat and draw 6 cards.
Okay. So I've got my hand. All drama.
Yeah, very glad that that didn't happen. Make sure this is full co-op or competitive. We're playing the competitive version, but there are variants. You can play it cooperatively, solo, or competitive.
Yep. I'll briefly touch on the other modes at the end. Alright, let's see here. I could do 3, 4, 5. I could do as many as 6 romance. Wow. There is not a single romance card out there. That's not
such a bad hand.
Cool.
So much drama. All the dramas. Wow. This is ridiculous.
So... Okay, I'm going to play... Oh, man.
Yeah, this is pretty bad.
Oh, boy. I don't want to play that and take another drama card. That's the tricky card in Scott Pilgrim's deck, is that hot mess. It's called Hot Mess, and it is a hot mess.
Legit.
It's strong, but it puts more drama into your deck.
It's strong.
If there was something out there that required romance, I would be using that because I could have as much as 3, 4, 5, 6, and matching that would be 7. But there's none out.
And as a matter of fact, it was. So Mandy's favorite course in high school, drama. Oh. Indeed.
Okay, so here's what I'm going to do then. I'm opting not to. I'm just not going to acquire anything.
Oh, okay.
And
so take your 6 for combat.
I will get 6 for combat.
Yeah, you probably won't draw any drama. I think I have most of them in my hand anyway. I mean, it's not like you can't see.
It's true. I wonder if I can get that high. I can't remember. I can't remember how much drama I have in here. I think.
Hey, Annette!
That
I'm so
might
glad
be.
you could join us.
Hello. I think that might be the only drama I have left. I don't know. I'd like to go for this one.
Take a chance. Take a chance.
Oh, boy.
There were no takers on guessing my previous song. I'm so upset.
I'm going for the hipsters.
Well, yeah, because I think you're at what now?
That's all I
5,
need to win.
That's all you need to win.
But
so
it's the +2 that scares me a bit. And the fact that I have drama here. I'll give it a shot, though.
I'm sure you'll be fine.
So, draw
Draw
2.
Yep.
Yep.
Which you won't get drama because I have all of it in my hand.
Okay. Phew, that's a start.
Which is great.
So let's see what I draw.
I'm
1,
gonna
2, 3.
exchange.
Oh, I need to shuffle, which means this drama is going back in.
So I'm going to actually get rid of this one, keep this one, and get rid of this one. If I even make it, there may be no point to it whatsoever.
Okay, 4, 5. Okay, so there was no additional?
No, so you're fine.
So I think I've got this. Can I pull off one last combo? I need left, up, A. No, I've got right, down, A.
Oh, you're still gonna, your
I
cards
need
will
up,
do
down, up, A. I have no up. Do I have 2 rights? Yes, I do. Okay, kitchen sink.
it. Yes, thank you, Annette, for getting my little reference there. My Take a Chance reference.
Okay.
You missed the earlier one. The song was Temptation. If you were not Canadian, I don't know if you're going to get that one.
So, I'm doing the base shredder, using the kitchen sink and the boot. Gives me 3, plus 1 is 4, and that is all I need to do. On victory, I eliminate a drama, but it is irrelevant because I did defeat this. I get to keep it for the points. That's the reward on it, so that would go here for points. That puts me at 3, 8, and 4 is 12, and that's the goal. That's game.
Exactly. I might beating it anyways. If you had decided to do that, you could have done that and got 6. Did you not have 12 at some point?
No, I don't think I've gotten that high now.
That's too bad.
No.
So that's it. That's the end.
That's it. Yeah, that's Scott Pilgrim for you. I improved my life. I got some housemates. I've been on the radio. I had some tea.
It was a slow crawl for me. I feel like the work cards were not coming out until later. And I'm like, yes, they're coming out. And it's too late. So we'll switch over to the other side.
Yes.
So there you go. That is Scott Pilgrim. I know, right? That was you came in at the end, but that's okay. Yes, the last bit, Michael had already reached a higher amount of victory points. We only needed 12 to end the game. It was a struggle for me. I'm not gonna lie. A lot of the cards that were coming out were not work-centric cards or playable to my character, so I couldn't buy the ones I wanted. So we can have a little chat about this. This is what we normally do in the Twitch channel, as people are not familiar. So I like this game. Overall, I like this game. I do find the first time you learn it, it's a little fussy. Do you know what I mean? So you got to have patience when you're learning this game for the first time with the double cards, and then certain actions have to happen before other. It's a little fussy.
It can be fiddly for sure. Like Manny said, with the double sides and some of the rules explanations with how you do things and when you do them can be a bit tricky. Hopefully, we know McDrizzle13 is going to be getting his copy soon. Hopefully this has helped get it to the table sooner. But once you get playing, it's not that complicated. It's just getting to know when you use which sides of the cards. Then it does start to flow quite well.
Right, and there were actions we didn't even use. Like there's an action where you can obtain a card by purchasing it, and then you can actually just eliminate it from the game. Mm-hmm. It's one that I didn't use very often. I am actually even playing it. I don't find me use it very often, but it could be useful, I guess, depending on what you're trying to get. And, what's this? Yes, I was the drama queen for most of the game. I had a lot of drama. And Michael, apparently, Dalton Perez says, you need a piece of bacon for that drink, preferably maple-covered bacon.
I like that. I would go for that, for sure. Some candied bacon. Oh, I had some of that on the... Anyway, yeah. I had some yesterday, but yeah.
But, I mean, the game itself, I like. It's definitely a game. It gets better for me after more plays. I think after the first couple of plays, I know I talked about Dice Tower, and I liked it, but I did feel like I had to play it again with different player counts. Like, I played it with 2 quite a bit. 4 is hard, especially when you're teaching it. I find people are not really patient. They just want to attack, and you may not have the cards to attack, and then they get frustrated. Do you know what I mean? So
yeah, you can't really go out of the gate attacking, because the lose conditions on a lot of these will be adding drama to your deck. And if you get more drama in your deck and you keep trying to attack, your hands are just going to get weaker and weaker as that starts to bog your deck down, and then you just end up in this mean cycle of lose, get worse. So you do kind of need to do a slow, gradual build. Get your deck a little stronger. Maybe get rid of some of the drama first, and then start attacking.
Yeah, so I know the button combo fighting and matching, that's cool. I love that. That's really fun. And like I said, this is a really thematic game. So if you're familiar with Scott Pilgrim, you're going to really enjoy some of the, the references on the cards and some of the thematic things that happen. Definitely a game that you will like in that respect. How do you cull? Yeah, I find culling in this game hard.
There are cards that allow you to do it. A lot of them are going to be the ones on the reward.
Yeah. The
reward for the challenges lets you remove some cards. But there are some cards you can purchase that would let you to do it. Sometimes it's just on acquisition, for example. The tea. The tea that I got towards the end of the game was the backside of the Act of God. So it was this card that I defeated. So I only needed 3 to defeat it. The reward here is flip and keep. So on the backside, it's tea. It's worth 1 point, and it says on acquisition, you may eliminate 1 card. And again, eliminate 1 card means it can come from your hand, your discard pile, or even from the plot line if you want as well.
Right. But I do find this harder to eliminate cards than other deck builders.
It can be tricky.
Maybe tricky is the better word to say. Exactly.
It's not as obvious as some other deck builders.
Right.
Yeah.
So, I mean, your deck feels cluttered because you get, everybody starts with some of these drama cards, and then you have cards that don't have a lot of value. So I feel like it's a lot of yucky stuff until you can kind of build it up. It's not horrible, but it's not great. I mean, like, I guess your average deck builder. You have to go through the Rocky training montage before battle.
Of course, the 80s montage, yes.
Exactly. And that release some stress with hot tea. Yes. Apparently not my hot tea because Michael won.
Yeah.
But yeah, so overall, as a game, I feel like it's a game that's going to have expansions, and I know I kind of alluded to that on Twitter because I was chatting with someone and I said there's a lot of space in the box, and they noticed that as well. So I'm like, expansion? So I have a strong suspicion that there will be expansions coming. I mean, you've got lots of replayability here now. Certain characters also change the game. With 2 players, you can't play with them, but you have characters like, name's escaping me right now. But there are a couple characters where you can add a friend to kind of help you out. And Kim is one of them. Yeah, so Kim gets a buddy that she can add in the beginning of the game. This is better when you're having higher player count. But things like that can adjust the game. And then you have the different X's, which are a variety of difficulty, So the replayability is there.
Mm-hmm. And there's a card I want to show here for 2 reasons. One, I had touched on the fact that some of the combat cards do have their own combos right on them. 2, this is more Canadian content. So for anybody that knows Tim Hortons, I know Tim Hortons has sort of expanded into the northern states. We do have roll up the rim competitions, and a very popular when you order a coffee, you get a double.
Roll up the rim to win.
Yeah. So here's the double card.
I love it.
And you can use this to combo roll up the rim. So that arrow at the top starts this combo. If you play this card and then play the corresponding cards. So in this case, this is the up, and then you can play another up and an A to get 6 combat points out of it.
That's so funny. Yes. I literally think of roll up the rim to win.
And that's exactly what it is.
Exactly. So that's really funny. Yeah. Kim is young Neil in the game. Oh. We have Steven, Knives, Wallace, and Kim, and then Ramona and Scott.
Yes,
for the characters. Yeah. So I guess the mains.
Yep.
So
now, co-op. To play co-op, what you do is you would be working together to defeat the X. Mm-hmm. Same idea, but you double the requirement to take down. You double the requirement for the required points to win. So in this case, we needed 12. It would be 24 points collectively. You would also double the value of the X that you defeated. So instead of 6, you defeat her, she would be worth 12. Any power-ups that you get would still be your own, but you're working together. The exception being housing. So I did have some housing here. I was able to upgrade to housemates. Mm-hmm. That would go into a collective housing. So we're all under the same roof. And if somebody gets something better than this, then we are collectively using that power. You can only have 1 housing card because you're only going to live in one place. So that would go out in place of the better one. So you're working together to get those double requirements. If you're playing solo, There's a chart in the manual that indicates how many points you need after X number of rounds.
Right.
So it's sort of a timed play at that point.
Yeah. So there you go. So I think overall, I like it. It's thematic, but you need to have patience with this, especially when you're playing with more people. I find that there's a bit to pick up, and people get impatient, want to just attack, and they really need to build their deck first. So that's my take on it. It's definitely one that we've played quite a few times to try and figure it out.
Yep.
But it's fun, and if you like the theme, I think you'll enjoy it.
Yep.
Co-op or competitive? I've only played the co-op version once. They're both good, but I think I like the competitive because it's not mean competitive. Do you know what I mean? Like I don't feel like I'm crushing your soul. So
no, it's a little different from. I don't know. For deck builders like this, I prefer competitive.
Yeah.
Although Hero Realms, that's a good one that I do like cooperative. So maybe that's the exception to prove the rule.
Yeah.
But for example, they're in Star Realms. Star Realms is a direct attack against your competition.
Right.
Whereas this, you're just attacking the challenges or the X. It's not. It doesn't feel as direct against the other player.
I think so.
Yeah.
So maybe that's why it doesn't really bother me to play this competitively. Although I do like Star Realms, so
That's true.
yeah. And actually, Annette, thank you. You are the one who got me into that. So there you go.
That was played over many a lunchtime, wasn't it?
Yes, it was. So there you go. So that's Scott Pilgrim. Overall, what did you think?
I like it. I do enjoy the mechanic of the double-sided cards. It took a bit of time to get used to. When am I looking at this side?
Right.
When am I looking at that side? What does it mean if I see that? What is on the other side? But once you've played it for a while, then you get to know what is on each side, at least thematically and
Right.
mechanically what will be on the other side. Maybe not exactly. But I do like that mechanism with the double-sided cards. It adds a twist to the game, to the deck-building genre, for sure.
So a couple things I wanted to mention. So I'm a weirdo. So when I fan my cards, yes, everyone, I'm right-handed, but I play like I should be left-handed. So instead of doing it like this, which I find ridiculously awkward, I do it like this. Now, most cards don't have two symbols. So it's usually one symbol of something else and one of something else on the other side, which is like this game. I love cards that have symbols, the same symbol on both, so it doesn't matter which way you fan your cards, and I really think it should be like that anyway. So, we've had many discussions about this. I know you're really good with cards. For me, even with sports, I play like I'm left-handed. It's really strange. So, that's something to consider. I understand that there are values, but I'm sure there's a way we can figure it out. So, that was something for me that I would have liked to see double symbols.
Tricky to do.
Tricky to do in this game.
Because all four corners are being used in this case.
Right. So I don't know if there's a way around it, but I know for other games that I've played that are multi-use, they've figured out a way to do it where they have the double symbols, like one in each corner. Because I can't be the only one that does my cards like that. So,
These cards have much more information on them, though. That's for sure.
Yeah.
They're not just regular playing cards.
No, of course. And this is like, Annette, we play lots of games with oh my goods and all these cards with all these symbols on it. So I think there's definitely a way we could potentially make it happen. So, other than that, I think it's good.
Yep.
Yeah. All right. So that's it for this stream. But before we leave, if you're looking for us, I know everyone on the stream probably knows where we are already. But you can find us on YouTube under To Die For Games, Facebook under To Die For Games. You can find me on Twitter, Board Gamer Pinup Girl, Instagram, Board Gaming Pinup Girl, and I also contribute to the Dice Tower, and I also run the podcast with Suzanne every second week. The next episode will be tomorrow.
Very good.
Yeah.
I'm on Instagram as Palm, Pawlom. Twitter is Palm21. Here every Monday night, and these will also be uploaded to YouTube. Now, this is the first time doing the dual stream to Twitch and YouTube, so I'm going to take a look and see what the quality is like. Hopefully my recording is better if there were any audio hiccups or anything along the way. But eventually there will be, one way or another, a video on YouTube where you can also leave comments. Do we want to...
I'm just going to respond to something here
Sure.
first. So, McDrizzle, Too Many Bones new expansion comes to Kickstarter on October 18th.
Yeah, it does.
So, I know you're directing that at me. It's actually Michael that owns the game. So, we're going to put that in this direction.
Yeah,
and
it
then
does.
something that we'll probably look at streaming, I'm sure, at some point. And Aaron, thanks for joining. So excited that you guys are doing this game. My daughter's middle name is Knives. That's so cool. So, and of course, there is Knives Chow.
Yep.
So
Yeah, Too Many Bones. I'll be getting that. There's no question there. That'll be coming.
So Too Many Bones, when the expansion comes, you bet. We will definitely be doing another stream, so we hope all of you join us. But for next Monday at 8 on YouTube and the Twitch, we are going to be streaming London.
Nope.
We're not?
Battle for Souls.
That's the 9th.
He's skipping 2 weeks?
Yes.
Oh, didn't know that.
It's the 9th.
Okay.
Yeah.
News to me, too.
Yeah, because remember I said he said he could do the 9th.
That's next week.
Is it next week?
Today's the 2nd.
Oh, well then I lied.
Okay.
Sorry, rewind. So London...
Ignore that.
I know, apparently very confused. So next week, we will be doing Battle for Souls, and Mr. Burke will be joining us.
Yeah, that was supposed to be, if you watched last week's playthrough, we were supposed to be doing Battle for Souls this week, but Robert Burke does want to join us in the chat. So he will be joining us in the chat next week. He wasn't available tonight, so that's why this got bumped up. But yeah, next week is Battle for Souls.
So Battle for Souls with Mr. Burke, and he'll be in the chat, so if you have questions, you can ask. And I think there's some things that he wants to talk about, so definitely be around for that. And then the week after that, we'll be doing London. Rodney Smith taught that to me at HowlCon, so we'll be playing through that. Anyway, I'll save that. What my thoughts are on that when we play it.
That's 2 weeks away.
That's a little while, I know, but I'm actually really
Spoilers.
excited for that one. So. And Needs of the One, forget about the Artana Chaos. Is there another one? Oh, of course there is.
The race is on for trying to get that Kickstarter. Artana is coming out with another Kickstarter, and I was the number one backer. I was backer number one for Tesla versus Edison like 2.5 years ago.
It.
So we've got a race going on to see who can get number one.
Very, very cool. Oh, and the song I was talking about, Temptation, is by The Tea Party. So, great band. Check them out. So that's it. If there's any games that you would like to see, you can send an email to the number 2, die4games@gmail.com.
Or I'm at Pawlom21, PAWLOM21 @gmail.com.
Thank you so much, everyone, for joining us. I'm glad to see some new faces, old faces, everybody's faces in the chat. And we will see you. What does this say? Tesla versus something. Nice. Aw, so cute. So we have such a nice chat.
Yes.
And all right. So that's it for now. And we'll see you,
Thank you.
next week.
Bye.
Bye.